March 23rd marks 20 years since the date of the mandate of the activities of the Institute of Co-Chairs of the OSCE Minsk Group, composed of representatives of France, Russia and the United States. Back in 1995, the authors of the idea who launched the co-chairs apparently believed that a diplomatic trio would be able to increase the effectiveness of the negotiation process. Over the years, the Armenia-Azerbaijan Nagorno-Karabakh conflict remains unresolved. About 1 million Azerbaijanis cannot return to their native lands. All this indicates a lack of efficiency in the work of intermediaries, and in Baku, they believe that it is time for them to take concrete steps. According to Azerbaijan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the advantage of the Institute of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs at the time of its establishment was the fact that all three member countries, France, Russia and the US, were permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. Along with the fundamental norms and principles of the OSCE, the well-known 4 UNSC resolutions on the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict were also to serve as the basis for the activity of the mediators. From time to time, the Minsk Group co-chairs must report to the Security Council and the UN Secretary-General in accordance with their mandate. Azerbaijan believes that the Institute of the Minsk Group co-chairs itself is some kind of a mandate granted to the mediating countries by the international community. The main indicator of effectiveness in this case is a settlement of the conflict and liberation of Azerbaijani land. Naturally, the current situation does not suit Azerbaijan. Baku wants the occupied territories to be free. The norms of international law must be observed. But unfortunately, this is not happening. To the contrary, 1 million refugees and displaced persons still cannot go back to their homes. Thus, Azerbaijan cannot consider the work of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs as satisfactory. At the same time, representatives of the Azerbaijani Foreign Ministry do not believe that the Minsk Group co-chairs, who bear responsibility to some extent, are the cause of all troubles. The responsibility for the unresolved status of the long-standing conflict also rests with Armenia as the invading country. Armenia's policy shows that Yerevan is failing to comply with the norms of international law. The Armenian side is ignoring the UN Security Council resolutions. By means of its destructive policy, Armenia is impeding a settlement of the conflict. Yerevan is trying to retain the status quo to reinforce the results of its occupation policy. The Minsk Group co-chairs, for their part, should not be misled by Yerevan. The mediators must clearly differentiate between the invader, Armenia, and the country which has been affected by the policy of invasion, which is Azerbaijan. Taking into account that all the three co-chair countries are permanent members of the UN Security Council, they should demand enforcement of the UN resolutions on the Armenian-Azerbaijani conflict more persistently. They must do so in accordance with their mandate. Statements of the co-chairs must be of more specific, targeted manner. However, overall, the Minsk Group worked hard in relation to the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict in 2014. Several rounds of high-level meetings took place, and progress was observed in the negotiation process up until early 2015. Primarily, this concerns work on a comprehensive peace agreement. Upon the conclusion of the latest meeting of the Azerbaijani and Armenian presidents in Paris, the president of France called on the parties to start working on a comprehensive peace accord. Azerbaijan is ready for this, but unfortunately, we have faced the destructive stance of Armenia again. According to the Azerbaijani Foreign Ministry, reconsideration of the composition of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs is not on the agenda at this point. Presently, ensuring efficient enforcement of the decisions taken within the frames of the existing format of the co-chairs appears to be more topical. It is necessary to improve the mechanism of the implementation of the OSCE Minsk Group's decisions. It is important to put relevant pressure on Armenia for Yerevan to display constructivism. Baku believes that currently, not only the co-chairing countries, but also all countries included in the Minsk Group should make their contribution to the process of resolving the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. However, in Baku, so far there is no tangible optimism regarding the Minsk Group co-chairs' efforts. Fikret Sadıkhov, a political analyst, believes that the Institute of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs has only drawn disapproval of the work it has been doing over the past 20 years since it was established. Sadıkhov does not think that there could be a single representative of the political elite or civil society that would positively assess the co-chairs' activity. According to him, it would be wrong to say that they don't understand what is going on, but over the past years they have been doing everything they can to maintain the status quo in the conflict.